Hey YouTube, today, in this video I'm gonna be discussing pretty much like everything that I know about ick and like how to prevent it and like how to excuse me, how to cure it and stuff like that. Well, the reason why fish get ick is because like the main reason is because when they get stressed out, their immune system gets like lowered or whatever. It's not as like, you know, and then so they're gonna be really susceptible to getting like the ick parasites. But and that's why lots of the fish that are in pet stores have ick and get ick is because, you know, being transported, that's pretty stressful for the fish, and being in cramped conditions and like that and stuff like that. Well, over the like whole like past 2-3 years that I've been into fish keeping and stuff like that, I've found out lots of ways on how to cure ick. Some have worked for me and some haven't, and I have gone through ick like a lot of times. Like I've had like 3 huge outbreaks of ick and stuff like that throughout all my tanks. And there's one thing that you shouldn't do ever, is that whenever you see like your fish tank, like if you see your fish have ick or whatever, and you use like a net or something and use it in that tank, don't use it for any other tank unless you like desanitize it or whatever, sanitize it, or because like it can travel through nets, and I experienced that the hard way, or my fish experienced that out or learned that the hard way. And they can't, so it is true that they can travel through nets because well, yeah, let's just stick with that. But what you should do and what everyone should do, and I personally don't do this because I'm stupid, and yeah, and I don't really do this that often. I did it once or twice, but you should have a quarantine tank. I don't, and I do want one, and I'm probably gonna set one up since I got those 3 10-gallons. But if a quarantine tank could really save you lots of money, and it doesn't really have to be really like elaborate or whatever. It could just be a 10-gallon, 20-gallon, whatever, and then just keep the fish in there for a couple of weeks after you get them. See if they show any symptoms, and then you could put them back in your show tank or whatever. Because what I used to do, I'd just put the fish straight in, like I'd acclimate them, or acclimate them in like the bags or whatever, and then I'd put them straight in there, and I wouldn't quarantine them or whatever, so my fish would get ick. So yeah, that's definitely something you should do. You should quarantine your fish when you get them, especially when it's from a pet store or whatever. And unless you're like experienced and you know what you're doing, and you just want to take that risk, you could just put them straight in. But so now I'm gonna pretty much say some ways in which you could get rid of it or kill the parasites or whatever. And I think there's about 4 or 5 ways that I know of. One way is using medicine or whatever, like you could buy medicine from stores, like artificial chemicals or whatever. And I used to do this all the time, but I found out that it's not really that great, and then it can kill plants and like invertebrates and stuff like that, and it's harmful for, you know, like scaleless fish. So I used to do that, and then I didn't really work out that well. Sometimes it worked, sometimes I use the natural ones or whatever, the so-called natural ones, and sometimes those work. But that's one way, and I personally am not going to do it anymore. And another way is to use salt. That is also bad for your plants, but it supposedly does help. I personally haven't tried it because all of my tanks are planted tanks, but so that's 2 ways. 3 ways. This next way, you could kill ick or get rid of ick. You could also use this to prevent ick, is to raise your temperature up pretty high, like 80, 82, 84 degrees. This tank is like at 82 degrees, pretty hot. Oh wait, never mind, the temperature is lower. I don't know. But so this is like around 78, 80 degrees, I don't know. But that's one way, because like the protozoans or parasites or whatever, they can't survive in the hot water. And fourth way is you could use a UV sterilizer. And UV sterilizers, they'll only kill the ick that are like free swimming. They won't kill the ick, obviously, that are on the fish, because what they'll do is that the ick will go in the UV sterilizer, they'll go through the bulb, and they'll get like zapped, and and so that's good that I have a UV sterilizer on that filter that I have on the 55 canister. And let's see, there's actually six ways that I know of. Fifth way is you could just tear down the whole tank, or no, you could take out all the fish in your tank, just leave it empty for 2 days, and then 2 to 3 days, because it can't, or it has to live off of a host, and since it's a parasite, and can't survive without a host for about 2 to 3 days from what I've read. And the sixth way, and which is what I'm gonna do from now on, is this, and raising the temperature up, is put garlic in your foods, in the fish foods. And I talked about this in my previous video about like what I feed my fish, but garlic, what it does is that it helps boost the fish's immune system, and fish also love garlic, the smell of garlic, the taste, whatever. And it's really good for your fish. And I just like mix it in with frozen bloodworms, frozen foods, and sometimes flake foods. I'll just put it in like a little cup and mix it in with like water, and like fish tank water and stuff like that. But that's what I did in my clown loaches, because like the two most susceptible fish to ick, fish to ick, I'm not sure if that's right grammar, but are clown loaches and mollies. Loaches and mollies. I've experienced like fish getting ick most with them. Like those two are the fish that have gotten ick the most, that I've kept. But yeah, and this clown loach that's in here, he had 2 other friends that died. One because of stress, the other one because of, I'm not sure. But this one had ick, and one of the ones that died, and he had ick for like a month, or like a month and a half, or something like that. And like at the end of that month and a half period, I started feeding him garlic in the foods, feeding all these fish, and then he eventually got better, and he was like showing great what's the word? Great, starts with an R. Well, I said it in the last video, but he was getting a lot better after I started using the garlic. And now he's completely clean. There's no ick in this tank whatsoever. So yeah, that's basically what I had to say about ick. So number 1 rule, if you want to stop ick from getting into your tank, is to quarantine your fish. That's all you had to do. And then in the quarantine tank, you could just like treat them and do whatever, like the stuff that I said. So yeah, sorry that the video is pretty long, but kind of took me that long to cover all this stuff. So yeah, that's it.